Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I'd like to open up my package from JM Bullion and talk about why it is not expensive to be buying precious metals at these prices. Okay, so I already pre-scored the box because I had some trouble last time that I was opening up a package and had to struggle with it for a while, but this one was surprisingly easy. I could have done it on camera, I guess. So anyway, I have a good variety of products to show here because I have not been buying my regular batch of precious metals over the last year. Now the main reasons are because I don't believe in paying sales tax for buying precious metals, and because spot prices have been increasing. However, I'll show you that despite the high prices or the higher dollar value that you pay for each coin, percentage-wise, the cost is not very different than when spot prices were lower. Okay, let's get this open here. All right, so get this out of the way. All right, so, okay, let me get this. Now, because I wanted to complete my collection of the Queen's Beast series, I ended up buying the quarter-ounce gold and the 2-ounce silver. But because I didn't want to pay sales tax, which would have added over $50 to the cost, I bundled more purchases into this order. Okay, so let's get this out and let's take a look. All right, so the gold is here. Okay, so this is the gold Greyhound, which is the last in the series. So after 5 years, we have finally come to an end for the Queen's Beast. So let's check this out. All right, so here is the quarter-ounce gold. I'll put it into a airtight later on, but just to show what it looks like here. Very nice. And the queen side. Let's see if I can take this out. I don't have gloves on, so I don't want to take out the bullion. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is the Queen's Beast quarter-ounce, and let's get the 2-ounce right here. 2-ounce silver, the Greyhound with the long claws that had been mentioned in some of the other videos. And I like the flip here because usually JM Bullion has their own flips that says JM Bullion on it, but this is plain. So this is very nice. Okay, so in addition to the Queen's Beast series, I had still wanted to continue my annual collection of the American Silver Eagle. And most importantly, the ASE. For the ASE, this is the last year in which the current design will be in effect. Next year, they're going to change, I believe they're going to change the eagle here into a different eagle. I saw quite a few videos already with the new design, and it looks pretty nice. So can't wait for next year to get the new Silver Eagle. All right, now to make the goal of paying no sales tax possible, I had to buy this 1-ounce gold maple leaf, 2020. Let's see. Here it is, very nice. So in my state, if we make precious metals purchases over $1,500, we would not need to pay sales tax. and most of the other gold alternatives were not very attractive to me. And my thought was I wanted to get something that was easily flippable, and this filled the bill because my original thought was that I would buy this now and then sell it to my LCS in the near future if the price of gold had continued to go up so that I can break even on this coin. However, that didn't work out too well for me because a couple of days after my purchase, spot prices tanked. So plan B now is to hang on to this in the short term. I don't mind because I'm fortunate enough to not need the cash immediately, and it also is a very nice looking piece here. This is the third maple leaf that I have, and they are all slightly different in design. Because the last one I got was the anniversary one, which I guess you could see in one of my older videos. And this one has the new radio design on it. And I also have one that was the older version without this mint mark here as well. So normally a purchase of this maple leaf would be the centerpiece of an order, but in this case it was only used as a tool to avoid sales tax. Okay, so I also wanted to continue my series in the Philharmonic. Here it is, which is also one that I have every year of since they began the silver release in 2008. And here is this year's version, which is the same as all the other years. Now this is a low premium bullion, and this has a special place in my heart because of my time that I spent over in Vienna when I was working overseas. So this is a nice looking coin. And here also is Chinese Panda, which I also have annual versions of, going back to 2009. Yeah, I don't think I have anything older than 2000. Well, I have some 2009, but from 2009 on, I had one from every year. Now this one is going back to a single panda design, and in most of their designs is either a single panda or two pandas. But one of my favorites is the only year in which they had three pandas on the coin, which is 2013. So every year they have a new design, and they seem to be a pretty unique every year. So I'm wondering how much longer can they go before they run out of ideas. Although this one looks like one of the older ones as well. Okay, and then last but not least is a Chi Wu metal. It's not a coin. I don't think a clay is any currency. And this is the 2020 version of the Chi Wu. This is lower mintage than the previous years, although it's the same as last year, 33,000. But after I bought this, I had kind of buyer's remorse because I don't have the whole series, and it would be too expensive to fill in the holes for the ones that I'm missing. So I probably shouldn't have gotten this. Okay, so that is all that I have picked up for this purchase. But just wanted to get into a little more detail of why these purchases are not as expensive as people may think. So here is what I had printed out. Now for the Greyhound, it costs $533, which is more than I would usually spend on a quarter ounce of gold. But because spot price at the time that I bought this was $1,958, the cost of this gold coin was $44.03 over spot, which makes it 9% over spot. So compare it with, let's say, the first release of the Queen's Beast, which is the Gold Lion. At that time, I paid $349 for it, but spot at that price at that time was a lot lower. It was $600 less at $1308. and the $349 was actually $22.40 over spot, which percentage-wise is 6.9%. So we're only paying about 2% over spot for the Greyhound, although the cost of it was more. The percentage over spot is within reason. And comparing that to a Griffin, which was the second release, when the Griffin was released, spot price had dropped. That's the amount that I had paid for mine. Most people probably got around the same price as well. And at that price, it was $24.99 over spot, which is 8.6% over, which is pretty much the same as what you're paying these days for the Greyhound. Okay, and now going over to the silver side of things. For this year's Greyhound, I paid $65.16. And spot price was $27.19. Although right now the price had dropped, but like I said, when I bought it, it was a couple of days before the big price drop. So this turns out to be $5.39 over spot, which is in percentage is 19.8%. Now the previous release to the Greyhound was a horse, and which wasn't too long ago, because spot at that price was $14.75. I paid $38.98. Maybe I paid too much for it, but that was the going price at that time, which was $4.74 over spot, but whopping 32% over. Okay, so this seems like a good deal in relation to that. And then looking at the very first one, the Silver Lion, my price was $44.96. Spot at that time was $18.59, which made it $3.89 over spot, which is 20.9%, which is the same percentage that I'm paying right now for the Greyhound. So if you're thinking that today's prices are higher than normal, in terms of percentages, it's about the same as what we used to pay. So, do the math on your own for the current prices and see for yourself and compare it with what you had paid for in the past. If you have been keeping track, I keep really detailed track of how much I paid for everything in the past. Okay, and for the Chinese Panda, again, the Panda was $36.99, spot $27.19, which makes it $9.80 over spot. Normally, almost $10 over spot is a lot to pay, but comparing what spot price was and the percentage of it over spot is 36%. This is typical for when you buy a Panda for any of the previous years, because if you look at last year's version, you paid a lot less, $21.55. But because spot price was lower, the cost over spot was $6, which is 40% over spot, which is more expensive percentage-wise than what we're paying this year. Okay, so now the only one that is a lot more expensive is, you've guessed it, the Silver Eagle. Now the Eagle, like I mentioned, I had to get because of the last year of the design, and for this I paid $35.13, and that translates to $7.94 over spot, which is 29%. And generally, for Silver Eagles, you tend to pay anywhere between 14 to 20% over spot, because this was my last year's purchase. Paid $18.49. Spot was $15.20, which is $3.29 over, and that's 21%. But in the past, if you want to get the the key date, which is 1996, I believe. 1996, you'll be paying around 30 to 40% over spot. But I don't know whether it has gone up that much more this year. So anyway, in general, all of these follow a trend in that if you look at previous purchases in terms of percentage over spot, what we're paying for today is not that much more. So even though the dollar amount is more, the percentage over spot is not, because spot price has gone up. So this is it for today. I hope this was helpful for you in terms of spot prices and cost of precious metals. And just to break these out again, here is the Greyhound, the silver and gold. And beautiful 2020 maple leaf. I'm used to flipping North American coins over to get the right orientation. But they may have changed. I thought maple leaf was, you know, you flip it over and you get the right side up, but this one is that way. Because if you look at the American Silver Eagle, flip it over and it's right side up. Okay, and the Chinese Panda. And Vienna Philharmonic is the translation. If you don't know German, the Republic of Austria. And this one, like the more recent ones, denomination is in euro. But the original ones, actually the gold, I think, has denominations in, I forgot the currency before, but I have one. I have one of the older ones. And the Chiwu. Okay, that is it for today. Thank you everybody for watching, and I hope this is useful for many of you, and talk with you all next time.